Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at grouping like terms. Okay, now here we've got 5a plus 3b minus 2a plus 3b. Now if you watched our introduction to algebra video, you know that you can't actually group them unless they have the same letter attached. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get two different colours and I'm going to circle the ones that have matching letters on them. So here's an A and this one also has an A on it. Now you'll notice that when I did my circling, I included the symbol that was directly in front. Okay, so this negative I've included with this 2a. Cool. All right, and then I'm going to circle my b's in a different colour. So plus 3b, I'm including that plus. And then the plus 3b, I'm also including that plus. Cool. So now I can go ahead and I can count how many A's I've got all up. So if I've got 5 A's here, because that's what 5A means, there are 5 A's. So 5A, and then I'm taking away, so I'm minusing 2 A's. So 5 minus 2 gives me 3 A's. Cool. All right, let's do the orange ones now. So I've got 3 B's, and I'm adding another 3 B's. So all up, I'll have 6 B's. Cool. All right, let's go on to this one. Now this one, it looks like I've got a couple of different terms, so I'm going to grab another colour. Now I strongly recommend that when you first start doing algebra and you're having to group like terms, use different colours, okay? It will save you a whole world of trouble because you'll make sure that you never miss anything. Okay, cool. So I've got some C's, so I'll use this colour here. So I've got 7 C's. No, that's a D, that's an E, that's a D, that's a C. Okay, so I'm going to circle that one and I'm including the symbol that comes directly in front of it. Cool. I'm going to change colours. So I've got a D here and I'm circling the symbol in front. And then I've got 3 D's here, but I'm circling the symbol in front as well. And then lastly, I've got E. So plus E and then another plus E. So that plus is included. Cool. Now it actually doesn't matter what order I do them in. I could do the E's first if I wanted to, then the D's, then the C's. At the end of the day, my answer will be correct so long as I have counted each group correctly. Okay, it really doesn't matter what order we do them in. Now for some reason, I guess most mathematicians have a bit of a compulsion to write them in alphabetical order because, you know, it just seems weird to put your E's before your D's, but at the end of the day, your answer will still be right. Okay, so I might actually do it in 2 different ways and show you what I'm talking about. So let's start by counting our E's first, okay, and it'll probably look a bit weird. So I'm going to start by counting my orange groups first. So I've got 1 E plus another E. So all up, I'll have 2 E's. Cool. And now I don't need to put a symbol after that because whatever group I count next will tell me what the next symbol is because it'll be either be a positive number. If the number comes out positive, I'm going to be putting a plus here. If the number comes out negative, that's when I put a negative down, okay? So I'm not going to be putting a symbol down here until I've counted my next group. So just to be weird, let's do the C's next. So I've got 7C plus another C gives me 8C. So rather than just writing 8C, because this is positive 8, I'm going to be adding. So I'll put a little plus there because that's a positive 8. All right, cool. And now I've got my last group, which is the D. So I've got negative D, which means negative 1D. And I'm minusing another 3. Okay, so negative 1 minus another 3 gives me negative 4D. So that's how I figure out what symbol comes next. Negative 4D. Cool. Now, see what I meant when I said it just looks weird to have your E's before your C's? The answer's right, but I don't know, it just looks weird. So I would probably rewrite it and I'd put my C's first. I don't know, you don't have to, but it looks weird. It just does. So I'm going to rewrite this. So if I'm rewriting this and I'm putting C first, because this is a positive 8, I don't need to put a plus. I don't have to write plus 8C because I know it's positive. If it doesn't have a negative symbol in front, I know it's going to be positive. So I can just write 8C, so that bit's done. And then let's do the D because it goes, you know, C, D, E. So we'll go then negative 4D and then the 2e. Now, because this doesn't have a negative symbol in front of it, I know it's positive. So the way I write it is plus 2e, because it's positive. It's a positive 2. Cool. Now, both of these answers are 100% correct, and it actually doesn't matter what order you write them in, so long as you've done your counting correctly, okay? I'm just a weirdo, and I like to put them in alphabetical order, but you don't have to. Okay, cool. Now, this one here, ooh, it's quite long, but you know what? It's the same as all the others. So long as you've got some different colours, you'll be perfectly fine. So let's do the F's in green. So there's an F, and there's an F, and I'm making sure to take that negative with it. And that's it, okay? And then I'll do G's in orange. There's a G, and see how I circled the negative that goes with it? And then, oh, okay, these ones don't have a letter attached. So I can't count them with the G's, and I can't count them with the F's. They've got to come on their own. So I'll do those ones in red. So I've got a plain old 2 and a plain old 6. Alright, so let's go the green group first. So I've got 10 F's, and I'm taking away 5 F's. So 10 take away 5, I've got 5F. Okay, let's go the G's. So I've got 4 G's, and I take away 1 G. So I've got 3 G's. So rather than just writing 3G, because this 3 is positive, I'm going to put a little plus there. Alright, and that's how you figure out what symbol is going on between. You have a look at, well, is that a positive or a negative? Okay, cool. And then lastly, I've got my plain old numbers that don't have any letters attached. So I've got 2 plus 6 gives me 8. Cool, and because it's a positive 8, I put a plus there. Awesome. Pretty simple, right? So long as you've got your colours to group them. All right, and let's move over here. Now, these ones look really hard, am I right? Now, keep in mind, I can only group things if they have the same symbol on them, okay? So the same letter. Now, you'll notice that here, this one has an A and a B. But the next one isn't only an A. So do you reckon I could add those? Probably not. Because even though part of that symbol is in there, the whole thing isn't, okay? The entire thing needs to be matching. So I need something that has an A and a B. I can't add 3A to that because that 3A doesn't have a B on it like that one does, okay? So even if part of your symbols are matching or part of your letters are matching, you can't add them unless the whole thing matches, like the symbols or the letters that are on there, okay? It needs to be the exact same. So this 3A I can't add to this, so it's going to have to be a different colour. Alright, and then next I've got a B. Same deal, I can't add that B up here because that B doesn't have an A on it. It's its own thing. So I'll circle that in a different colour. Now here I've got 4AB. Yay! I can add that to this 2AB. And then lastly I've got a B. So I'll circle that one in orange. Cool, and now I can go ahead and add together my different coloured groups. So I've got 2AB plus 4AB, so 2 plus 4 gives me 6AB. Then I'll do the A's, I guess. So I've only got one of those, like one group. So it'll just be plus 3A. And then lastly, I've got 1B plus another B gives me 2 B's. Cool. Let me just make sure you guys can see. Okay, cool. Now, here is a disgusting looking question. So, not as bad as this question, but pretty yuck. So, just like up here, how I said that the entire thing had to match, like, see how here this 2 has an AB on it? I could only add things that also had the exact same matching AB, right? It's the same deal here. Even though all of these have x's, some of them are x squared, like this one has an x to the power of 2. This one doesn't. So the entire thing isn't matching, so I can't add it, all right? So I need to find one that is x to the power of 2. Okay, that whole thing needs to match. So that one doesn't match, but this one does. And then this one's an x to the power of 3. Doesn't match. And then this is just a plain old x. So only this one and this one can be added together. Okay, so your entire symbol thing needs to match. Okay, cool. So different colour, because I've got 5x on its own. And then I've got to find another one that's just an x with no numbers or any other stuff going on. So not this one, because that one's got a 3 on there. But this one's plain, so I can add that one. And then lastly, I've got a random x to the power of 3 there, which is just like, just chilling on its own. Cool. Now, let's add these groups. So I've got 4x to the power of 2 plus 3x to the power of 2. Now, I'm not going to be adding these little mini 2's or anything. They're just part of the symbol. I could replace them with a love heart if I really wanted to. They do have a purpose. We'll learn that later on. But for now, I'm just going to be adding, pretending that's a whole thing, I'm just going to be adding the numbers at the start. So if I've got 4 of these things, plus another 3 of these things, I've got 7 altogether. So I'm going to write 7x to the power of 2. Alright, cool. Then I'm going to add my green ones. So I've got 5x plus another x gives me 6x. And then lastly, I've just got one plain old x to the power of 3. So plus x to the power of 3. Now, just like I did here, there is a special order that you generally write your answers. Kind of like the alphabetical order thing. You know how I said it was just a bit weird to put your E's before your C's? It's the same deal here. Now, when you're doing these later on, like when you get into year 10 or whatever, it's proper practice to start with writing, we call these indices, the little mini number that's here next to the x, we call those indices. Generally, you will start writing your indices in order from biggest to smallest. So you'd write this as being x to the power of 3 plus 7x to the power of 2 plus 6x. See how my indices are going down from 3 to 2 to none? But just like with this one, your answer's still correct, regardless of what order you put them in, so long as you've counted your groups correctly. And then let's quickly have a look at our last one. So, oops. Here I've got a y squared, and I can only add it with another y squared. So nope, 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 yes. And then let's go, we've got an xy. I can only add it with another xy, which is this one. And then all on its lonesome, I've got an x squared. So I've got a y squared, so just one of them, plus another 6, so that gives me 7y squared. Then I've got an xy plus 7xy, so one of them plus 7 gives me 8xy. And then I've got an x squared plus x squared. Awesome. So that is how we group like terms. My number one suggestion to you is get some colours, especially when you're learning how to group like terms. Colours make it so much easier to understand and make sure that you don't miss anything. Also, when you are grouping them, it's important that you group the symbol that is directly in front of each of them, okay, and take that with it as part of the group. Okay, cool. Thank you for watching.